Hi, everyone. I'm Joy Marchese. I'm the founder of Positive Discipline UK and a lead trainer for the Positive Discipline Association. I'm here to share with you my experience in the classroom for over 20 years as an educator and also my experience as a mother. So I am looking forward to having this session with you. I am very aware that I'm competing right now with the Prime Minister. So Boris is just starting a press conference, and unfortunately I'm going to miss that because I know there's a lot of people logging in from other countries, and I want to be able to, to be here as I committed. So my husband's listening to him right now. So just for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, I will be here every night, Monday through Friday, from 8:30 p.m. UK time. I'll have about a 15-minute session where I'll share some strategies and tools for you that can help you, hopefully, as things are getting more strict and people are home, working from home and with their children all day and dealing with this really stressful and uncertain time. I will leave a few minutes at the end for questions. I'll try to answer some live questions as well as I've had a couple of people ask me questions in advance, so I'll answer those as well. And just so you know, these sessions are recorded and I will upload them straight after the session's done. So those of you that are missing this, you can watch it at another time. So just to review, last time we spoke about self-regulation. On Friday, we talked about dealing with stress and taking a positive time out when we flip our lid. We went over the work of Daniel Siegel and how we can go from our reptilian brain and get back to our higher level thinking brain. So I hope that some of you were able to apply that in your lives. And I hope you were able to teach your children a little bit about the brain. And your homework was to share that with your children and to create a positive timeout space in your home that everyone can use. So I'm wondering if some people did that. And if you did, I would love for you to share your experiences, your successes, and as well as your challenges. And if you can share them on this page, take a picture of the space that you've created, share some of the items that you put into your space that helped you to soothe and get back to your higher level thinking brain. So we're going to move on for today. We are talking all things routines and creating your new norm for this time. I've had a lot of questions from parents about this. And one of the things I'm hearing is, how am I supposed to work from home? How am I supposed to keep my children busy all day? How am I supposed to keep up with academics? I want to use this time to just slow down and I'm feeling really pressured. I don't think there's a parent out there right now that isn't feeling pressure. So the good thing is you're not alone. It's really comforting knowing that you're not alone. I want to start by saying that, first of all, you don't have to do it all. And you shouldn't be trying to. So that's really important. And I also want to let you know that there is not one size that fits all families. It's really important that you think about your family's individual needs, the resources that you have, and where you're all at right now. So that's super important to keep in mind. That being said, we do know that children, not only do they appreciate, but they thrive with the comfort and the security that routines provide them with. So keeping a routine that's flexible is going to be really important during this time. However, it doesn't mean that you should schedule every single minute with them, especially filling it with academics or thinking of academics the way that you would typically happening in schools. I think this is a time that during our lives, we're in a very busy, overscheduled society, and this is sometimes we tend to lose sight of what's really important, which is family time, play, having fun, and just having that free time, giving children free time to really think, dream, imagine, and have that space to discover. So this is forcing us to do this. And what's really, I see it as an opportunity, to be honest with you. We all have an opportunity to really connect on a deeper level with our families, with our children. And if you can let go a little bit of some of the fear and uncertainty that we're all experiencing right now, you might be able to see this as a gift. Now, might be easier with younger kids, because right now, younger kids, I can tell you, my daughter, she's 2.5, and she is having the time of her life. She is so thrilled to have her mommy and daddy home all day, every day. So she's not, because we're not stressed, or at least we're not trying to let her see any stress that's coming. She's really happy and relaxed, and we've been really having a good time. And we've put together a pretty decent routine that, of course, even today we had to be flexible with. So with older children, it's a little bit more challenging right now because they are feeling more of the stress and the anxiety. One, because they're aware, they're watching the news and they're involved in social media and they're hearing things from their friends. And also because, they do have a little bit more, they're feeling the stress of academics. So it's really important that we meet children where they are. One thing I really want to stress, though, before we move on to actually creating the routines with our kids, is that children, they won't remember the words that they learned to spell over the course of the next few weeks, or the math problems that they solved. What they will remember is the forts that they built and the games that they created and the memories that they shared and that you created together as a family. Every child is going to remember this time. It's impacting them, everything that they're taking in. So let's try to make it as positive an experience as possible so that they can build that resiliency and get past it even stronger than they were before. All of us stronger than we were before. So all of that being said, let's talk about creating these routines together. And the key word is really together. I've seen a lot of routine charts and whatnot being shared. We shared a routine on our I Grow Co. Page for parents and for kids. I want to really say that all of these routines, they're really great suggestions, and we should see them as guidelines and not as like a strict protocol that we all need to follow. So they're there to guide us and help us, and it's helpful to have a template, but just know again that you need to find one that works for you. The reason it's important to have routines is because, number one, children, and create them with your children, is that when children create them with you, they're much more motivated and empowered to stick to them because there's buy-in there. Okay, so that's really important that you're not just saying, here's our family routine. The second thing is, if you take the time to ask your kids to see what their interests are, to focus on things that they might be interested in, again, they're much more likely to participate. If you're not forcing them to do things that you think are important. So just keeping that in mind as you're going through. So the first thing you want to do, there's kind of 4 steps that I'm going to go through right now. The first thing you want to do is sit down with your children, depending on how many you have. And if you have different age groups, so very young children or older children, you might want to sit down with them separately, depending, or do it all together as a family, but knowing that it's going to be a little bit different for each child. So you're going to sit down, you're going to list all the things that need to be done. So the work that needs to happen, the projects, the chores, like all the things, the tasks that need to happen throughout the day. And again, typically we would do this with creating morning routines and bedtime routines for kids. But since we're all home together, and this is kind of home, and I don't like to use the term homeschooling because I don't want parents parents are your child's first teacher, but I don't want you to feel that you have to replace the teachers academically. So just keeping that in mind. But we're going to think about a full day routine that can kind of work for everyone. And again, keeping in mind that it's flexible. If you list all the tasks that need to be done and they leave something out, for example, practicing piano or doing the laundry, things that, still need to be done, you might just ask them, what about such and such? And add that to the list. Once you have the list written down, then you want them to prioritize it, to rank it in order of when they think things need to happen. Now, children are no different than adults, right? When we create, let's say, a to-do list, we tend to do the things we like the most. We tend to do those first, or the things that are the easiest, so we can like check those things off. So when you're going through this prioritizing the list and when things might get done, you might ask them curiosity questions to ask them, so when are you at your best as far as, you know, being able to concentrate and focus? A lot of us are really much better in the morning than in the afternoon, when we tend to get tired. And teenagers in particular tend to be at their best around 11 o'clock in the morning. So thinking about those things as you're going through prioritizing the tasks and when they might get done. You also want them to allot a time frame. How much time will they spend on each task? So that you don't want the same task running over and going on forever, especially when it comes to screens. And screen time should be on that list. I don't think there's anyone that's going to get throughout a day without having some sort of screen time right now. So after you've done that, you want them to create either drawings or images that go along with each of the tasks. If you have really young kids, you might want to have a fun activity where you go around taking pictures of them doing each activity, and then you can print the pictures, and you kind of, what I like to do is take a hole puncher, put a hole at the top of each picture, and then thread a ribbon through it. So now I just have a visual routine chart. This is for younger kids that aren't able to read yet and write yet. And that can be a really helpful visual reminder. So once you've done all of those steps, you have to decide where to put it, decide together where would be a great place where everyone can see it and it's really visual. Now, if your child gets off track, and this is inevitable, it will happen, okay? Instead of reminding and nagging, you want to let the routine be the boss. So what's next on your chart? Okay, just with curiosity, and refer them back to the chart that they created. If a routine chart really is not working and it's struggling, then at a family meeting, go back and revisit it and figure out what's not working. Maybe there's too much scheduled in there. Maybe there's not enough physical activity in there for them. So another thing you want to do is really think about the routine chart as more as like a to-do list or a checklist versus any sort of reward chart, okay? Because the reward is that they're ticking off, they're accomplishing and they're ticking it off, rather than, rewarding them for any sort of, getting things done. We want to develop an internal locus of control rather than an external. And we will be talking about that in a couple of sessions in a couple of days, how to develop that. So I'm just going to show you a very quick example. My husband and I sat down over the weekend, and the first schedule we created is for us, because we're both having to work from home. I typically do a lot of work from home, but he never has. So this is a really new thing for us. And this is just a quick sketch outline that we did, if you can see it. Okay, and we color coded it. When am I working? When is he working? When are we having family? So the green is me, the blue is the family time, and the red is his work time. And because right now, I'm basically unemployed. I have no income coming in, right? All my workshops, everything's been canceled. So his job is bringing in a salary. So, we decided that obviously his job takes precedence right now. So he's essentially working solid from, 9 in the morning till 5, but we do have some family time breaks in there. And what we've decided is to start off each day with family mindfulness and affirmations and yoga, which so far so good, was really enjoyable. Another thing that's happened, which is great, is that we've decided to schedule all of our meals together. We almost never eat all 3 meals together. So it's a pretty, we're really enjoying that. And so is our daughter. So it's nice to have a little bit of that control, and slow down a bit. The next thing we did was we created, because our daughter's only 2.5, a routine chart for her. And what are some of the activities that we want to do? And again, the blue ones are kind of basic stuff that we would do all the time. The red ones are walking with our dog and playing outside if we can. Again, being mindful of distancing ourselves from anyone else that's out there. And the green is all the creative play, the arts and crafts, the cooking sessions, and all of that. So we will make that look better at some points, but right now that was kind of where we started with it. So again, don't feel the pressure to get it all done right away. I am going to share with you, I want to cut this off very soon because I wanted to keep it around 15 minutes. I don't see any live questions right now. I'm thinking everyone's watching Boris. But what I am going to do is I'm going to read a question that someone asked me, and I'm going to answer that. And I'm sure many of you have the same question. I don't know if you all saw I think she's an Israeli woman that was in her car, and she was all excited and worked up, and I got a really good laugh. I could definitely understand and empathize with her. So this question kind of goes in line with, I think, how she was feeling. So my school has sent home lots of work for my child, pages and pages, hours and hours. How am I supposed to get through it all? I'm not a teacher. I don't feel that I can do this. So first of all, you don't have to get through all of it, and you shouldn't even try to. I think, I want to stand up for teachers a little bit in the sense that, they did not have any time to plan for this pretty much. I think a lot of them were just in, utter panic themselves about gathering up materials and things to send home because, of course, they will, some of them, get the email, why didn't you send enough work home with my child? So it's finding that balance. Just remember that this is not a race. It's not a competition. It's also highly unlikely that that teacher will get through all of those students' work to even check it. So take some of the pressure off and know that you don't have to do it all. Do what you can. And what I would say is, if I were asked what I would like to get through for the day with my child, and again, my daughter's a bit younger, so I don't have the stress of the academics right now, but I'm putting myself in the shoes of parents that do. So first of all, for kids of all ages, I would definitely want to do a bit of reading every day, whether that's self-independent reading, me reading to my daughter, or even an audiobook. I would definitely want to get some writing in, and that can just be free writing, journaling, expressing how they're feeling about what's going on, or some creative writing. Maybe some practical hands-on math. You can do this with just cooking and measuring and, building things and all of that. So it doesn't have to be sitting down doing a math worksheet. I would love for all parents to work on kind of some like fine motor, gross motor. Today I did some beading with my daughter. We made necklaces and she absolutely loved it. It was a good 30-minute exercise. We counted the beads as we went along. We did colors. We counted in English. We counted in French. So I added a lot in with that. I cannot stress this enough. I was a physical education teacher for many years, and I cannot stress enough the importance of having physical activity every single day, and not just for the children, for yourselves. So please, even if you just have to step out your front door in the sunshine and do jumping jacks and burpees, okay, get moving. If you have a garden, be outside and do an obstacle course, but get moving. It'd be great to have some music. And again, this can be singing, this can be playing an instrument, this can be dancing. We do a family dance party every night right before dinner. So it's a lot of fun. We choose different songs. Let's see, if you have older kids, stretch them a little bit, let them research something they haven't been able to research at school. This is a time where they can go think out of the box. Let them watch documentaries, and you can, even if you have more than one older child, let them all research and present to the family at the end of the week. Make it fun. And of course, with little ones, a lot of imaginative play, lots of independent play. And one thing I want to share, it's a life skill. It's okay for them to experience some boredom. Okay, that's what kind of develops the creativity. So keeping that in mind as well. So I'm going to end this session by saying, first of all, you are doing enough. And be kind with yourself. You're loving your kids during a time that's really, really difficult. So try not to stress too much. My kind of mantra and the way that I'm getting through this is I'm focusing my energy on the things that I can control, like my sleep and eating healthy and exercising, and I'm letting go of the things that I can't control. because that's just wasting my energy that I could be using, enjoying my time with my family. So I think that's it. I don't see any other live sessions. So I'm just going to let you know tomorrow night, again, 8:30, we'll be here. We will be talking tomorrow night. I will be talking tomorrow night about problem solving with your children. So it's a really great process that we have in positive discipline, and I'm really excited to share that with you. So please share this with your friends. I will put the recording up on Facebook and share it on LinkedIn and all those other places. Have a very good evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.